Good morning. Up in the sauna, having a good time, reflecting. I've got a situation that I wanted to vent a little bit about, but when you have people on your team that make mistakes, that mess up, sometimes they might want to get out of that position that they're in or get away from the thing. Never do your best to hold their feet to the fire. Do your best in love and compassion if you can. I say hold their feet to the fire, I don't mean hammer on them for messing up. I mean the mistake they made or disaster they caused will not be worth the pain of the lesson, won't be worth anything if they don't see how or where they can take more responsibility to change future outcomes. So you have to help them understand how they can avoid it. You have to help them understand how they aid and abet in having that bad thing happen. And that's the most important thing. If they just get in trouble for what they did, it's not effective. The understanding's got to be there, and if they can gain that, then they can become more valuable to you in the future, I believe. Because that person will represent someone who doesn't need to go through that lesson again, or hopefully lessons like it, if they're an intelligent, evolving human being that has a mature and serious enough mind to learn from things and remember the lessons that they're being taught, which these days might be a lot to ask. So that's just the way I'm navigating something right now. Now if this person's a family member, then they get an eternal participation trophy for life. They just happen to freaking hit the lottery by being related to you, and they just get to try forever and stuff. Still, these things are important. If this is a professional relationship, give them a few chances until you learn their level of competence, and then judge whether that level of competence is actually acceptable or not for your organization. Personally, I'm very afraid of relationships. I actually don't really like them because humans are remarkably human. I'll just say that. And I don't find very many like me that'll go hard, be consistent, and die over something in a moment's notice. But there's awesome people out there that are way better than me, and those are the ones I'm seeking. Familial relationships, family stuff, scare the heck out of me just because, I prefer professional relationships. I always love my family relationships. But glad that those are already, I'm not getting any more of those other than the ones I create. Anyways, love you guys, and let's go make the most of this day. And the last thing I'll say on this is the same thing goes for you, man. If you make a mistake, I always feel so bad for people that really just hammer on themselves when they make mistakes. It's you're gonna make mistakes. I make a mistake, I think about everyone else involved who I'm impacting, and that's the worst part about it for me. I'm pretty inoculated to it, right? This is just part of getting good. You go to the gym, you're weak at first. You go to jujitsu and get choked out for years, right? Everything you start out, you have to suck at and you have to fail at, right? You will have catastrophic mistakes throughout your life. As you become more mature and more deliberate and more thoughtful and more aware, these mistakes will lessen as you are more immature and less aware and less thoughtful. You're gonna have, more accidents. The whole point is, when these accidents that you didn't mean to have happen, you've got to make sure that they are leveling up your consciousness, your level of awareness. In the future, I need to be this aware. I need to be this much more careful. I need to be this much more deliberate. What systems can I put in place to do better? But if you shirk responsibility and try to be like, I didn't know, or put it on someone else, or put it on something else, or find some way around it, you will have to learn that lesson again. And that's why when it comes to people I work with, if I see them doing that, I'm scared, because that means they now will need to make that mistake again. And it has everything to do with their ego and how much their identity can handle when it comes to taking responsibility. If they're weak internally, a person who's weak internally and does not have a lot of confidence and is insecure by nature, they will do friggin' everything they can to avoid taking responsibility. And therefore they will grow very slowly. And therefore they're just generally going to be toxic to your team for a longer period of time. A person that has a strong identity is much more able to look a mistake in the eyes, throw it on their shoulders and say, hey, you know what? Even when it's not entirely their fault, they can say, I could have done this and this and this differently to make sure that didn't happen, so I apologize. I missed the mark. But be careful for those people who are underdeveloped internally, because they will not own it, repeat it, blame others, find a way for it not to own it. It's dangerous.
Boom! What's up, you guys? Byron Rodgers here. And if that video meant anything to you, if it inspired you, if you appreciated it, I just want to ask you to possibly support us on Patreon. I generate hundreds of videos per year and spend thousands on free content for you guys per month, because it simply is a passion of mine. It's the way that I want to contribute to the world, to the best of my ability. So obviously I'm going to continue to do it, but I wouldn't be able to make it sustainable without my partners who support me on Patreon. So thank you so much if you already do. And if you haven't done that, it's, for what you pay to McDonald's per month, you could help push the mission and this work forward. So anyways, either way, thank you so much. Like, subscribe, check the link below to support me on Patreon if you're interested in that. God bless, Semper Fi, and I'll see you on the next piece of content, y'all. Boom.